Today, I and my teammates Amanda, Larissa, Naz, and Rodrigo will present to you the business report we prepared on behalf of Total Parking Solutions Incorporated. Total Parking Solutions Incorporated is a company that's operating in the field of automated and semi-automated parking systems for buildings. All data of the company, such as PC, Google Drive, hard copy, are located in different locations. Company has difficulties in accessing data from anywhere and recording and finding the necessary data. It has been determined that the company needs to go through an important digital transformation process and that a successful data management system should be established on behalf of the company. The following report explains in detail the system we recommend to the company for a successful digital transformation, includes the service comparisons we made to reach the most suitable service, and includes the importance and effects of the knowledge management system on the organization in the say change management process. Our agenda is introduction in here, companies, system requirements, challenges and change management, pricing, and conclusion. Now I leave the words to Rodrigo.
Thank you. So I want to talk first about one of the knowledge management systems that our team choose, that is Zoho. Zoho, it has many bundles. And what is a bundle? A bundle is a group of applications. Zoho has more than 35 applications, so there is a lot of tools there. First, CRM Plus. CRM is like the bundle for everything, all the application with the customer. So with this bundle, you will have like the best customer satisfaction. Also, we have the Finance Plus. With Finance Plus, it has some application, for example, for the invoice. So it's a really good tool for all the business. Also, we have People Plus. People Plus is all the HR, human resources process. It helps you with all your employees to develop in some areas that they may need, and also in the recruitment process. Also, we have the IT management that helps with different softwares in the company. Also, and one of the most important ones is the Workplace. Workplace, it helps you with to work together with your teammates. And for example, instead of have two different spreadsheets, they will work only in one. They will have only one document, and the organization is going to be easier. So Workplace is a really good bundle. And also they have the Marketing Plus that basically helps in all the chain of the marketing and also in some areas of supply chain. Next, in the other hand, we have another knowledge management system that is Confluence. Confluence, for example, works more with templates that helps you, for example, in a diagram to see the key performance indicator of the company. Also, it has a really good functionality because they work really good with all the teams together in a company that make like a really good cohesion with teams. Also helps you with the integration. It's similar than to Zoho, but Confluence is easier way to adapt and to introduce in a company. For that reason, they have a really big personalization. So each company could personalize all their process in a Confluence way, and they have so many features that most of them is similar to Zoho. Next, I want to give the word to Amanda.
Thank you, Rodrigo. So, related to the system requirements, we have found that both Zoho and Confluence had similarities. In the case of Zoho specifically, it can be run for devices using Windows, Linux, macOS, Android, and iOS as operating system. Is also for the web browser. It can be run using Internet Explorer 11, Firefox 27 and above, Google Chrome 30 and above, Opera 12.1 and above, and Safari 7.0 and above. We have found that the storage space for Soho is 100 gigabytes during the trial period, and after that, it's gonna be based on the license the company gets. Another important element is that we can find a mobile app available on Google Play and App Store, working for both Android and iOS operating systems. Next slide, please. On the other hand, we have found that for Confluence, the operating system has a minimum requirement for the hardware using a CPU quad-core 2 gigahertz plus CPU RAM of 6 gigabytes and database space of 10 gigabytes. It as well as Soho is compatible with a wide range of operating systems. And for the web browser, has similarities with we have previously presented for Soho. And there is a difference here regarding the storage space, and is since Confluence provides 250 gigabytes during the trial for the standard package, and also for mobile and desktop interfaces. It's available, the system, for devices using iOS and Android operating systems. Next slide, please. Regarding the cybersecurity, we have found that Soho offers a two-factor authentication, also activity tracking with audit logs, which results very useful for every company. One important thing to highlight is the compliance with the General Data Protection Regulation and the IP restrictions. Next slide, please. Related to the cybersecurity on Confluence, we have found that it is available on Atlassian, a service named Atlassian Access, which offers a customization of a variety of authentication policies, also a two-step verification. It has compliance as well as Soho to the General Data Protection Regulation, and also it offers the user's activity tracking. Next slide, please. Another aspect, we have found that some challenges might arise by adopting the new system in the company. The first one we identified was the change to fear, which we think that could be addressed by explaining to all the employees of the company the need to implement this new system and all the advantages it's going to bring to the to the company's performance. On the other hand, we have identified lack of knowledge and experience using Confluence Cloud, and this is going to be addressed by getting all the employees trained. And last but not least, the resistance to the use to the new system. And here we have found again that it's very important to provide to ensure the company provide a full explanation for the need of adopting the migration for the new system, and also provide the training. By doing this, we are going to address this resistance. Thank you very much. I'm going to transfer you now to Ness.
Hello. Like Amanda mentioned, there will be a cultural change for the company for having a new system application for the company. So having actually the total parking solutions have fewer employees. So this will make a positive contribution to accelerating this change and starting using the application. We all know that the main purpose of knowledge management system is to define, share, and define, share, and reuse the knowledge. As a new growth company, Total Parking Solutions, is it necessary to transfer their assets to meaningful processes for the purpose of innovation of information and to ensure the continuity of the information. The creation of value in companies and transaction to working consequently, bringing change. For the change to occur, it is expected that the company's culture should be suitable and be ready. The first step is for the change is having a strong leaders. The change may result in resistance at the point where the support of the leadership is not fully felt. The Total Parking Solutions, which has an organization of 7 people, the most appropriate department to start the application will be the sales engineer part, because where Mehdi also start working over there. With the support of the principal, sales and technical affairs can also join the relevant change management team. With the leadership of the Mehdi, all the needs of the company should be determined. In this way, in the future investment, a step will be taken for the small but growth-oriented company. It will be right to start spreading with the sales department, because the processes are in a new order. The communication with the small team is very easy, and one-to-one communication with the customers support starting with this department. For a change, it is necessary to proceed through certain stages. We have like 8 steps for the change, but we know that already we defined the change and select the change management team, and the sponsorship will be given from the principal. So the first step that's going to be in the Total Parking Solution, develop an implementation plan and implement the change. And it's for this change, the outsourced application company that we are going to, we can get from their support. It will be right direction move forward to make the information in distributed environments accessible for a single place. So we know that every new application brings with the project plan, because it's with this project plan, the companies can easily integrate a new application to their own. So receiving the needs, development, testing, getting live, and the training phases, it's a typical project timeline for all applications. Since the application is already ready, the most critical point, the company will be the usage phase. Here, the training is become more important. The purpose before starting the training session, actually, the company need to be know the purpose of the training, audience, objective, scope of the training. It need to be clear. Consider that the application will be open to using by all the employees. Different organization groups also should be created, like content administrator, portal administrator, and knowledge management government groups. After the technical work, all the implementation started, the first stage of the integration, like we completed, the user should be involved with the short and explanatory training, like user management, content management, and reporting. In the table, you see that in the 10th point, 10th, 11, 12, and that goes, the company employees, like the 7 people, need to participate in their configuration with giving a small training for them. So the training that includes the use of the entire application immediately before or after the application is integrated for the company. In addition to given at the end of the day, Total Parking Solutions can take the training from the company that purchased the product. Especially prepared user manual document should also be prepared, and this document should be included in the new knowledge management system. So we are continuing with the Larissa.
Okay, thank you, Nas. So in the next topic, we're gonna talk about the process changes and the importance for the company to recognize the changes that will be happening. So the first thing is to recognize that employees will be capturing additional data, and it's important to talk to them to tell the differences and the purpose of such data, because this will be used in the future to change the company, to change strategies. So it's important that any change has been communicated. So also with the changes, there will be holistic data, such as the weather, outside events, customer patterns, and things like that can help the company to have a better pricing strategy if they know how the customers behave, the timing, and how the weather influence the demand for their services. These are information that the management will use to accommodate and adapt the company based on these such changes. So also it's important to recognize the changes when a new employee come in. So some energy will be needed to train this person, to align the information, because alignment is such a critical thing when you handle data. If the employee understand the purpose, how the information should be added, it will bring the value that the company needs to manage their own knowledge. And also the training and when the access will be needed when this employee come in. This is something that should be managed and should be in part of the process, because then it does not bring any kind of disruption for the operation. So the next slide, please. Okay. So moving with the facts and challenges, even though it's a small company, it manages personal data of their customers, not in detail, but information that cannot be leaked and should be protected. So this is an important topic that we have some regulation outside Canada that protect the customers on their rights of their own information. And Canada is also going this direction to have a new regulation in place to see how the information is handled. So it's important to recognize what are the guidance of the software provider in terms of the best practices to manage that. Here in the page, you can see that last year happened a case in Calgary, Alberta, where a parking company unfortunately leaked some information with names, license plates, and some financial information of their customers. So this is really important to have a process and follow this, and also share with the employees the need of follow the procedures, do not save the information in other way that do not meet the company regulation. Okay. So moving forward on the cost analysis. Cost analysis is something really important on the planning, on the decision for the company to decide how to implement, when to implement, and what are the best options of systems that will suit the company moment and the company financials to help the business progress and growth. So if we move to the next, we're going to talk the opportunity cost. So the opportunity cost will evaluate when we have more than one option, what is the best when we consider the pros and cons and the cost and the benefits of each option. So the first thing the company can think, develop or purchase a software. So this is something that if they have the knowledge or someone that has, they could choose this option because it's cheaper. But this is not the case. We do not have like a department, IT department in the company. It will not be applicable. But then when we consider purchase or contract a web solution, purchase, usually when you actually buy something that you need to own the software for one reason, and this is also part of the company asset. And then finally, evaluating the Zoho and cost opportunity and financial cost. This is also something that we can help the company to decide based on the services and the costs to use them. Okay, so associated costs. When you develop, you don't actually add, if this is a simple system, you don't usually add it to your asset. You don't have liabilities, you're not going to buy something. It will be basically your payroll, your human resources, if you have someone developing that. But the cost will be the time, the knowledge, the maintenance dependence of that employee or things like that, and to have like a documentation of this development. In terms of the purchase, the second line, then okay, you have like the capitalization because you actually own the license, own the software and things like that. So you're going to have the payable, the purchase price, and also you have additional expenses like the training, sometimes a consultant and documentation to install and implement this purchases software. But in our case here, considering the company size and company needs, we have Zoho One and Confluence. When we do not have like the ownership, we do not have like the software itself, but then we have the permission, the license to use it under both infrastructure. Okay, so it will have like the self-training and in terms of only an additional concern that could be like the data deletion in case we stop use that. So for Zoho, it could happen if we stop paying, the company stop paying the service, and it does not happen for Confluence. Confluence does not delete unless the administrator deletes the information. Otherwise, it's there and it could be reactivated in the future anytime. Okay, so moving to the pricing, Zoho has two different packages. One is when you decide to achieve the license for all employees, and the other one is when you decide to purchase one license per employee, but then it's on demand. So this is something that is strategical because the company needs to see, is there a plan to grow or to add new employees to that? Because if you, from the beginning, if the company decides to launch the Zoho One for all employees, it will cost $450. And if the decision is to have like only for the fixed employees full time, it will cost less, $230. But in the end, if they decide to grow, it will be basically the same cost of having 5 employees with the license to the 9 employees with the license. So this is something that could be decided in terms of the next steps for the company. And compared to the Confluence pricing, this is where we think that there's an advantage because Confluence offers a free option and that can be used by 10 users. So this is something good because the company can start using it's free with no cost and then decide for additional services in the future. So the company is within the range. So since the beginning, it would start already with this initial package and create some culture, understanding, could collect the employees' feedback of that, and then decide to move forward with Confluence. Okay, so now conclusion, Rodrigo will help us.
Thank you, Larissa. Well, as we saw in all the presentation, Confluence and Zoho, they're similar, right? They have the same advantage, the same features, but we have these points that we decide why Confluence is the best option. First point is because, as Larissa mentioned, it's a free version, and you can try it before the implementation, right? With Zoho One, you need to pay. There is no free version of that. So for that reason, we think Confluence is the best. the company could try, and then they see the results. Also, another point and really important one is the easy to use. It seems that some of the message or the feedback that we read from some of the customers, they mentioned that Confluence is friendly with the new employees, and Soho is a little bit difficult to learn. For that reason, Confluence winning also in that area. Also, the training support. One of our team members already worked with Confluence, and she told us about their experience and how the training was. That was really easy. That the company helps you in all the way to the steps to learn how to use it. So that is a really good point. That Confluence is a totally winner, because Soho, it doesn't have any training for Soho One, right? That is the one that composes the 6 bundles. Also, the security level, as we saw, Confluence is a really secure way to manage all the information about the customer, and also the available devices. Confluence is a winner, totally winner there, because it supports Microsoft, it supports Apple, it supports Linux. And for example, Soho, it doesn't support Linux. So most of the developer works with that tool. I think it's really important that they need to support that. But we have a couple of recommendations. The first one is that when they start doing the Confluence, they need to pay for the total package, right? The total package, what is the meaning of that? The total package is that they need to pay for the training before they start using. In order to get the 100% of the process of the improvement of the company, they need to, each employee needs to know how to work with Confluence. So for that, they need to pay for the training. It's really important. Also, the content management need to be supported, right, for the company. And the last one is that all the documents need to be updated. Basically, that point is that you have the tool, but if the employees, they decide that they don't need to use it, it's going to be a waste of money. So they need to update each document in the Confluence platform, because if not, it's going to be a waste of money. So that's it. We decided that Confluence is the best. Thank you for your time. See you.